Здравствуйте! Как дела? Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. What you just heard was a typical Russian greeting which translates to Hi, how are you? In today's episode, I'll be taking you to one of the coldest cities in the world, Astana, the capital city of Kazakhstan. But before that, let me share with you my two misconceptions, personal misconceptions about this place. Number 1. Borat was not filmed in Kazakhstan. The village scene in the movie was actually filmed in a small village called Glad in Romania. As to why, sorry, I don't know. But if you do, please hit the comment section down below. And number 2, Kazakhstan is not in the Middle East, although it is still part of Asia, but it is in Central Asia. It is neighbors with Uzbekistan, Kyrgyzstan, Mongolia, and the northern border, Russia. And it is also the largest country by land area. It has a total of 2,720,900 square kilometers and a population of just little less than 19 million. Wow, that's so large. For all you Huguts out there, there's definitely a space for you here. So now I'll be talking about my experience as I stayed there for a good 8 months. A tropical Filipiniana in a completely different world. I mean, there's a new culture, new environment, new people, what else? New food, new language. Everything was so new to me, and this made my stay a lot more memorable and interesting. So I have listed these 10 things that you should need to know that practically sums up my entire experience in Astana. So without much further ado, let's get started! Number 1. Astana, now Nur-Sultan, which is the new capital of Kazakhstan, is the second coldest capital city in the world, number 1 being Ulaanbaatar in Mongolia. Although the average monthly temperature for January is around negative 14.2 degrees Celsius, extreme lows of negative 51.5 degrees Celsius have been recorded. Wow, that's unbelievable. I guess it's harder to sing this song out there, Elsa. So let me just emphasize the weather. It's just freezing out there. Winter typically lasts for 6 months. That's an entire half of the year. And during our stay there was actually a time when the temperature reading went to as low as negative 40 degrees Celsius. And my friend told me that that particular winter was a bit colder and a bit longer than the past few years. Funny thing is, I slipped and fell in the snow once. It was literally a pain in the butt. But what was funny was I fell not on that wide open area, but when I was only 2 steps away from getting inside the car. I fell right in front of my husband. Hugot alert! And take a look at these. They are actual pictures of frozen animals captured by residents in the outskirts of Astana. It was so hard for me to look at these pictures the first time I saw them. Poor animals. Number 3. And because Astana is a huge flat plain, it is not a surprise to experience such strong winds. There's actually a popular joke that says, when women come to the salon to get their hair and makeup done, that their hair will be completely ruined the moment they step out of the salon and walk in the streets of Astana. But never mind that, when you have a bigger problem like this. This was actually filmed by a friend's colleague, and because of this whirlwind very strong, classes had to be cancelled that day. And here's another one. It's scary to think about it now that I know it was just 1 block away from where we were staying. Number 4. I can describe the locals as being tall, slender, mostly Chinese-looking, Russian-speaking people. So if you see someone looking like this and speaking Russian, the chances are she could be a Kazakh. But don't get me wrong, they have their own language, the Kazakh language, which belongs to the group of Turkic language family. But why speak Russian? It's because Kazakhstan was once part of the USSR until 1992 when they gained their full independence. Aside from that, not too many people can speak and understand English. Even the grocery items, it's all in Russian, with a few exceptions, mostly the important ones. And so when I was there, Google Translate was my ultimate literal hero. Number 5. Kazakhstan is actually a Muslim country. but not a conservative one, meaning I haven't seen so many Kazakh women wearing hijab or abaya there compared to the UAE, but mosques are everywhere in the city, including this beautiful one. Number 6. The city of Astana is full of modern architecture. It is a beautifully planned city with futuristic buildings scattered all over the place. You can search and see more on the internet and you'll be blown away, especially if you're into symbolism. Number 7. Depending on where you come from, the actual cost of living in Astana can be considered to be low to average. This was our home when we stayed there. It is a one-bedroom unit, and at the time it costed us 140,000 tenge or KZT per month, or around 16,000 pesos or 320 USD. And that rate already includes water, electricity, and internet bills. And I forgot to mention, it is fully furnished. So it's cheap, right? To think that we were living in the heart of the city. Grocery items, except for the important ones, are also very affordable. As for transportation, there are public buses. Then it was 70, now it is 90 tenge per ride, but it's still cheap. And riding a bus is convenient. You don't have to wait for long out there in the cold because they have this app called Astrabus, and it shows you the current location of the bus and tells you how many minutes till it arrives at the bus stop. Pretty convenient, right? There are also cabs, but many people prefer the Colorum cabs, including me, because they're way much cheaper. Number 8. Everything in the city is in order. Actually, Kazakhstan has a very low crime rate, and in fact, it ranks number 1 in peacefulness among the 12 countries in Russia and Eurasia. And a big part of that should be credited to the police officers who tirelessly rove around the city day and night. They go by threes, sometimes stopping at a particular corner, standing back to back to get a 360 view of that particular area, so no one ever can mess around with them. But I had one not so good experience with them. You know, it was spread that some officers want to get some cash from foreigners like me. So when one particular afternoon I heard a loud knocking at the door, I just kept quiet inside my room, perfectly still, but the knock came louder and more frequent, and so did my heartbeat. And then it was like a good 8 to 10 minutes until I heard a big blow. It was like 3 kicks on the door and then they left. I was so scared at that time, especially because I was pregnant. So that was my bad experience. Number 9. Kazakhs, like Filipinos, are surprisingly very festive. There was this particular night where we got invited to my husband's colleague's house to celebrate his baby's first month of life. We were like 15 or 20 packed in one small living area, and a big cloth was spread around us. Like we were squatting around that big cloth. It's supposed to be the dining area, and I learned that that's the traditional way of eating. And look at our food. Wow, to think only one person was preparing all of this, the wife, and in particular the preparation of beshbarmak, which is their national dish. It is boiled horse meat, and beshbarmak actually literally means 5 fingers because they say you have to eat it with your fingers. And so this preparation is very tedious, but she didn't stop there. Look at what we had for dessert. Whoa, I mean, one whole barangay can come and eat, and I'm sure there will be a lot of food left afterwards. You're such an amazing mom and wife. I salute you. Also, it is a part of Kazakh culture that during the celebration, every single one in the room should give a toast. So when you get invited, you better prepare for a speech. And last but not the least, number 10. This is definitely my most memorable experience while I was staying there. But before that, let me share with you these video clips taken by my friend Lana to show you how the city looks like today. So, number 10. While we were staying in Astana, God heard my prayer and I got pregnant. But when we learned about the news, it was not so happy because I was spotting and we had to go find a doctor out in the cold. And the doctor told me that I have a 25% chances of getting a miscarriage. So I was really very sad at that time. I was even depressed. I kept crying and still very lonely. One Sabbath day, I went to the church. I just put on the only pair of shoes that I have that fits my spring dress. And so when I got there, immediately they noticed my feet and they asked me, do you feel cold? And I said, no, nothing, it's nothing. And afterwards, they found out from a friend of mine that my husband had a delay in salary for 3 months and counting. And so I was so touched because after the service, like 4 or 5 people motioned me to come inside a small room, and there a woman sorry, I get emotional. A woman told me, for your baby, as she handed me an envelope. And at that time, I just bursted into tears. I just hugged all of them. I just say, Spasiba Balshoy, it means thank you so much. This is a Russian church that I was attending to. And I was just so touched by their gesture. I know these people don't earn very much, but really they didn't hesitate to help me. And I was so happy. We all hugged and cried, and afterwards a sister took me to her house and gave me 2 pairs of shoes. I went home smiling and reassured that God will take care of us even in difficult situations like this. So once again, spasibo bolshoy to all of you means thank you very much from the bottom of my heart. Your kindness will never ever be forgotten. A few days later, I went back to the Philippines. I came home full of experience, beautiful memories, and a deep admiration of Kazakhstan and the people in it. So thank you so much, Lord, for this wonderful experience. Thank you, Kazakhstan. You just earned a very special place in my heart. Wow, what a way to end this video. Thank you so much, guys, for being here with me. I hope to see you in my next video. Rahmat. Bye. God bless you.